how do these things get into us in the first place? So like those different things, so, whether that's heavy metals or environmental toxins, you hear that people eat something like a credit card worth of plastic every week or something like that.
Yeah.
Parasites, like how is that getting into us? And are there ways that we can avoid it just like ingesting in the first place, right? Like, so we're
Yeah.
not putting that in our system.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the first thing is just the bed sheets, the clothing, the car seats. I mean, people are touching plastic 24/7, right? They're sleeping on plastic, they're wearing plastic, they're working out in plastic, they're sitting in their car in plastic. It's plastic everywhere. And so anything that can touch your skin, particularly when your pores are open or when there's body heat or sweat, can enter your blood, right? And cross the blood-brain barrier. You have water. The toxins that are in tap water, either if people are drinking it or people are even just taking showers and baths, all of that enters the system. You have pharmaceutical drugs in very, very small form, metabolites of pharmaceutical drugs that cannot be filtered with a municipal system that are going to enter your body, even whether you drink it, whether you're in the bath. You have heavy metals in foods, in soils, in the animals that you eat, in the vegetables, in the herbs, in the produce. It's everywhere. Heavy metals from coal burning plants are everywhere. So it's in the atmosphere, it's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the food, it's in the soil. In measurable levels, including glyphosate, which is another environmental chemical that's been used in America for so many years and has tainted the soil supply, right? So it's the long and short of it is companies use chemicals because they're cheaper and because they can turn more profit, but they did not take into account the environmental impact over decades and decades and decades of these substances that cannot break down, right? That take a long time to break down. You also have mercury fillings. You have sushi. The oceans are the animal life in the oceans are very, very high in mercury, and not to mention parasites as well.
Yeah.
So
should we just never eat sushi? Should just nobody eat sushi?
I have not eaten sushi in 5 years, and I will probably eat it once or twice again before I die. So for me, it's a poison food. It's a total poison food.
Really?
Yeah, for me, that's my viewpoint. Yeah.
What about, but like people in Japan eat tons of sushi, right? Are they all just sick or?
I mean, it's a good point. I've heard the point. I don't know that I have a really good argument for it. I think people in Japan are probably on average healthier. I mean, not in the cities, right? But probably outside of the cities.
Yeah.
I maybe they have, the wasabi and the ginger, maybe that helps kill some of the bugs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the good news is that based on what you do,
but they also eat a lot of sea vegetables. Let me say that.
Okay.
So they eat tons of sea vegetables, which actually bind onto heavy metals.
Okay.
That's also a possibility.
Well, but that's the upside. I think the upside here is based on what you're saying and all the work you do, you can pull almost, I guess, all of this stuff out of you eventually if you work hard enough at it, right?
Yes, you'll never get all of the toxins out of the system, right? Because it's like a sponge. Once a sponge gets dirty, you can wash it thousands of times. It's still always going to be a little dirty.
Yep.
But yes, there is definite ways of getting these toxins out and measuring them. I mean, if people don't believe this, they can just measure these things in their urine, in their blood, in their hair.
Yep.
And via oligoscan, which uses a light therapy.
I don't think anybody would argue the fact that we live in a more toxic world than we probably did hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
We're not as in touch with nature. Like we're just around so much more artificial stuff and plastics and, you name it of what's in our environment, right? I think there are people out there that probably say, yeah, but your liver can handle that or your kidneys can handle that or whatever. So there's probably some that argue against that, but just kind of like going from, okay, what's the stuff we're exposed to the most that we just need to kind of like ideally remove from our environment? And then if you're actually going down the route of you want to do some of this, what is the kind of the right order for people to progress in? And what are some of the kind of the basics around that stuff?
Yeah. The first step is just taking care of one's gut health because a lot of people have leaky gut to, some degree or another, where you're not digesting food properly. Could be very sensitive to foods. You can get bloating or fatigue very easily after meals. And the toxins create degradation on the mucous membrane of the gut, which eventually creates inflammation. Okay. And if that's chronic, it's very, very hard to detoxify the body. You have to first address that. We use things like ketotifen, which is a mast cell stabilizer, and slippery elm bark drinks, and acacia fiber, and aloe vera, and butyric acid, and collagen, and marshmallow root, and licorice root. These are all substances that are known to help heal the tight junctions and the mucous membranes, right? Fulvic acid as well, humic acid. And once that is at least underway, then we would move into some liver cleansing. Liver cleansing is very profound. For about 30 to 50% of my clients have major benefit from purging the liver of stones, or at least, if you don't want to believe in liver stones, which is scientifically arguable, I understand, but there's there's fatty liver and fatty deposits and cholesterol deposits in the liver. That's very hard to argue that, and you can remove that and detoxify that. And so there's things like Zen cleanses. There's things like Moritz liver cleanse. Andreas Moritz is a genius. He's passed on now, but look at his information. Anyone watching this, the guy is vibrating and glowing with love and light. And he was just all into liver cleansing. That was one of his main things, right? And after that, during that phase, by the way, we use a lot of things called binders. So these are negatively charged substances that grab onto positively charged pollutants: clays, charcoals, zeolites, pectins, chitosans, things that will, silica gels, things that will grab onto toxins so that you don't absorb them through your intestines, and it helps you release them through the kidneys and through the bowel movements. And then after that, we move into parasite cleansing once that foundation has been established. And that's very profound. Most of my clients will see visible worms coming out of their stool. Ropeworms, roundworms, liver flukes. There's all different kinds of organisms in there that don't belong in there. And you get more clarity, more lucidity, less cravings. And everyone used to do parasite cleansing hundreds of years ago, right? The children and the cattle and the farm animals. But for some reason, humans have lost, especially in America, have lost that ability or that knowledge. Still in India, they give castor oil to children. In Russia, they do all different types of parasite cleansing for children, and adults. But we lost that in this country, and we don't think it's a problem here, which is really incorrect, my humble opinion. So after that, we move into a heavy metal detox process, which can be done many different ways: wheatgrass juices, cilantro juices, ALA, suppositories, enemas. One of the most potent ways I've discovered of healing is actually rectally, right? This is through coffee enemas, through colonics, through suppositories, which are mineral or nutrient-based, basically pills in oil, that you insert rectally, and it goes straight into the blood via the portal vein, right? So that's the long and short of the process. I mean, there's a lot of details in there, but that is a process that has helped many, many people. That's the process I underwent. Now, it was very different, and it took me years to put together that process, and it took me 2.5, 3 years to go through it. And we help people, do it in 4 months. But that's the long and short of it.